I just got back from TFCon and I brought a bag full of goodies. Let's check it out, shall we? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Great to have you back. So I did recently got to attend TFCon 2024 in Los Angeles, and I had a great time there. This is my first time going to it, and honestly, it wasn't quite as big as I thought it was going to be. I've been to San Diego Comic-Con a few times in the past. I know that's like one of the biggest conventions ever, but TFCon is certainly a fraction of the size of that. Still, though, pretty full of people attending there. It was great to see that. Lots and lots of cool stuff to look at that I would have loved to have purchased, but having just bought a new car, kind of put a damper on that. I was kind of planning on staying until the later TF animated panel, but it wasn't going to start until like 5 o'clock, and literally by like 12:30 we were kind of done seeing everything, so you know. Shoutouts to the one dude that did recognize me and expressed equal concern about wanting a C86 swoop. You are my people. Sorry I didn't give you a sticker though, I kind of forgot. Oh, you one dude. This was a G1 reunion, so there were quite a few voice actors and writers from the original show. Sadly, didn't get to meet any of them though. You had to make like a special line to get to that, and I don't have time for all that. But there were some great artists there though, and I got a couple of goodies from them. I did pick up a very nice print by the artist E.J. Sue. Now he of course was the artist that helped to kick off the IDW comic series, and he's done some fantastic work. This piece that he did years ago really gives me a Gundam vibe, with the Autobot mechanic just sitting on Prime's shoulder there. But the amount of detail that he has on the inside of Prime's head here is just absolutely astounding. And he actually had the original drawing there for him to show. And out of curiosity, I asked him if he was selling that one too, and his exact response was, I definitely wasn't in the market to try to buy that. I was mostly just curious. So I hope I didn't scare him for that. But he seemed like a fantastic dude though. And I also got to meet Casey Kohler, another astounding artist from IDW. I love this dude's work. He was selling this book that's a really rad collection of, I think, all of his IDW covers. This, of course, has been one of the more iconic Transformers covers to ever come out. Of course, being an homage to the Killing Joke cover by Brian Boland, I think it's fair to say that everybody knows of this cover. And it was fantastic to meet him as well. But you can't go to a Transformers convention and not pick up a Transformer, right? So I got, what's it called? SA-1 Wasp, which is a third-party figure of Hearts of Steel Bumblebee. God, from the Dreamwave Transformers comics, right? This one goes way back. I've always really enjoyed those designs and just been curious about picking up this figure. Definitely looks really good in the back photos here. And there were also some different variants, recolors of Cliff Jumper, and I think there was even one as Trax, oddly enough. I don't know how well that one fit, but it looked like Trax colors. Let's go ahead and pop this guy open. Ah, very nice, very nice. That's a nice size Bumblebee too. I thought it was going to be quite a bit smaller. You do have a bag of accessories here. There's a nice little card that it comes with, as I think most Masterpiece kind of scaled figures tend to come with nowadays. We have just the box artwork here, and it's like the size of a playing card. It's definitely textured like one, and you get a cool little write-up on the back of the card here as well. Cool stuff. Put that right there. I think you get a little baggie of actual train tracks. I had no idea it came with this. That's pretty awesome as well. All right, cool. And of course the instructions, which I don't know. I don't have a lot of hopes for how good these instructions are. A lot of times they can be hit or miss. Okay. Okay, nothing on the back. They look like they get the job done, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be an overly complicated transformation, hopefully, but let's find out. Are we taped in place? No, we're not. Come on. Come on, buddy. Oh, it is taped in place. Okay. I think it's just those two. All right, there we go. And he doesn't have an actual blaster that I can see, but we have a nice hammer. I'm guessing because of the whole train theme. That looks pretty cool. Not bad. There's a little bit of articulation. It kind of, this top part folds like this, I'm guessing for the transformation. And there's a couple of pegs that also come up off the sides for that. I have no idea what that's going to be for. Okay. Oh, it looks great. That's not bad at all. The plastic doesn't feel the greatest though. I would say maybe just a tad loose on the joints. And there is hardly any paint on this guy except for where he really needs it, but overall that doesn't look too bad at all. The gray shoulder pieces that are kind of like the front of the train. They have the yellow parts painted on it, and as with most instances, it doesn't exactly match with the yellow plastic parts. It is a bit of a noticeable difference there. But there is some very nice gold sections picked out though. Those do look great. And that head sculpt, I think it gets the job done. I don't know about that little smile. I know he's kind of like the cute character and whatnot, but it's not bad. It's not bad. That chrome blue for the eyes looks pretty good too, but looks like they had a hard time keeping it on the actual eyes too. There's a little bit of bleeding on there. That can certainly be fixed. We have the technology for that. Looks like there's actual working train wheels, which is where the train tracks come in. So that's cool. But as far as the proportions for this figure, I think it looks good. The head does seem to be on a ball joint. Other than being able to turn, there's a very slight up and down movement there as well. So that's something. Thankfully, the shoulders are articulated to get out of the way and allow the arms to fully extend out. Your typical bicep swivel. We got 90 at the elbow. No wrist rotation though. Wow. Wow, wow, okay, all right. There is a waist rotation though, so that's good. Looks like ball jointed at the hips, swivel thighs, and looks like 90 for the knees. Ironically enough, they can bend both ways, so that's disturbing. And there is some ankle tiltage for the feet too, so that's good. All right, now I think the only drawback that I'm seeing though is from the midsection, from the side profile, it's just super thin here. There's really nothing going on in the back. I don't know if they could have tried to have filled this section out, but that's just extremely thin. Not very impressive there, unfortunately. But from the front, it does look great, and it seems to be a very good representation of the character from the Hearts of Steel series, too. Let's check out the transformation. And the hammer does fit underneath. Doesn't feel all that secure, really, but it fits. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's not secure. I'm gonna leave this out, but we got the train, kind of. A whole lot of pieces don't really want to stay in place, but for the most part, we've got Hearts of Steel Bumblebee in his train mode. And you know what? For the end product, it looks nice. Very cute little chibi train that I don't think is modeled after any real train. You'd have to ask a lazy eyebrow for that. I don't know. But it looks nice. It's a good design. The process to get here, though, was not the greatest. The plastic, again, doesn't feel all that great in the transformation, but again, that's pretty typical for third-party figures. I'm sure that with practice and transforming this a few more times, I'll get a better handle on it. And you do also see his visible fists here in the back, but other than that, though, it looks pretty good. The dual steam chimneys here are a nice little design touch. I do like the look of it. It's not bad, but wasn't the greatest transformation, though. I didn't really expect much of it being a third-party figure. To this day, I haven't had one so far that just knocked it out of the park. There's always something that kind of gives me a little bit of trouble, and so I think that's just how it's going to be with third parties for me. But the end product, I like it. I do know that there's other figures, I don't know if by the same company, made for Transformers from the Hearts of Steel series, but I don't know if I'm going to pick up any more. Cool designs. I'm glad I picked this guy up. I don't know if it's something that's worthy of me giving him the full custom treatment. I don't know. Never say never, though, right? Never say never. All right, I'm going to get this guy very quickly back into bot mode here, and I will definitely give him his hammer. I'm actually kind of reminded of the Flame Toys model kit of Bumblebee. That one has a nice little hammer with it, too. Yeah, and now that I've transformed him once, he's like 10 times more loose, which is not a good sign. Just need you to stand there for me, buddy. There we go. All right, we got it. That's really it for TFCon. Didn't pick up a ton of things. Did I mention that I bought a new car? And I also picked up this guy from a recent trip to Joshua Tree. Was there just for a weekend, and their Walmart was pretty well stocked. I had given up on finding this guy online. Seemed to have been sold out everywhere. So when I actually found it on retail, I knew I had to pick it up. Really do hope it does not suck. It's not gonna suck. Nah. Uh-oh. Loose pieces in here already? Yeah, it looks like Bumblebee. Oh, he's got his weapon in here, which is pretty much the exact same weapon that the Beetle version has. I don't know if it's the exact same mold, actually, but it looks like the exact same one, which could obviously use some paint, right? All right, we'll set this one aside. It's a little bit weird holding this new Bumblebee that is now the Camaro, but still very much based off of the Bumblebee movie version Bumblebee. I will always prefer Bumblebee as a Beetle, but I think they kept enough of the Bumblebee movie aesthetic for me to enjoy this. Quite a bit of kibbly action on the back. He doesn't look bad. He doesn't look bad. He has very good proportions in bot mode, plenty of detailing, obviously not a whole lot of paint, mostly yellow plastic with black paint where needed. Looks like we get a bit of a smoky clear plastic for the windows, and I'm guessing for the windshield too. That looks pretty good. A lot of the car bits do end up showing on the back though. The rest of the hood just laying on the back. I mean, it's not bad of the way. At least it's not sticking out too much. Just makes it look a little bit flat. And the rear of the vehicle, this is really the back of the feet. It's funny how we do see a lot of Studio Series Bumblebee movie Transformers that have this same design. Some of them have the front of the vehicle on the back of the feet. This one has the back. So there's that. That is a nicely molded head though. There are some slight design differences to Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie, but overall it retains a look. Very nice indeed. And other than the black paint, he does have some silvery gunmetal-y paints here on the side and some other silver highlights for the vehicle sections as well. It looks nice, but as with many figures, it could use more paint though, right? Now, one thing I do appreciate though is how this section going over the wheel well on the back is actually painted with a flat black, not a gloss black. So that does make it stand out. I think it's accurate to how it is in vehicle in the movie. I'd have to take a closer look, but the fact that they went as far to use a flat black instead, that's good. It definitely does differentiate it from the glossy black stripe running across the vehicle though, so that's good. And he does have his weapon that really pegs on like a gun would. This I can tell is a different design to the Bumblebee movie weapon, because you can see a lot more of the hand here. It's odd the color choice that they picked though. It's like a much darker gray. I don't think the color matches at all with how the weapon looks like in the movie. I know there's some yellows in it as well, so that's kind of an odd choice. That really does kind of stick out. It doesn't blend in with the rest of the figure as other weapons have in the past. And of course the blade just pegs onto the forearms. Very simple to do so, nothing too complicated, but again, it completely lacks any color. So that kind of sucks. Okay. Okay, well, while that transformation wasn't perfect, it was a lot more satisfying than this third-party figure, that's for sure. Everything does snap satisfyingly into place, and it looks like a pretty great vehicle. Of course, this is Bumblebee's Camaro in the off-road version, so it's got these extra bars on the back, on the front, and over the windshield, which looks really good. You actually get to see a bit more of the flat black paint here in the back, too. But there is a bit of kibble showing in the bottom with the arms just hanging down the bottom here. It doesn't really affect the rolling at all, though. It still rolls great, but I think they do show just a little bit too much. But I am thankful that there's a majority of the back of the vehicle nicely designed and even some red paint there. That's good. And I probably would have gone for some regular plastic on the windows instead of the clear, but the fact that it's smoked out, it's a good touch overall. The black striping running across the top though was executed pretty flawlessly. That is damn good. Not bad at all. Everything matches well in place. If I were to ever do a repaint of this guy, I don't think I'd be able to just recreate the striping by just masking it off, only because there's such a thin stripe running right along the edges too. That would be impossible for me to do. I think the more likely thing for me to do would be for me to just try to recreate it in a decal form. That would still look real good. Not a bad figure overall though, really nice. And there is good weapon storage. Well, at least for the blade, it fits very nicely underneath the rear wheels. That's not bad. But for the weapon itself, though, it's supposed to use these two tiny tabs to kind of click around the rear bar. Doesn't really want to do that, though. Like I can tab it into place just barely, but it's not holding there at all, though. And if I do get it to hold, as soon as I place it down, kind of pops off. But I'm not much for weapon storage on vehicles, so I'm perfectly fine with that. Still a pretty great figure. I'm really glad I bought it. And of course, these two don't really complement each other at all, but it's interesting to see two very different takes on the same character though. Not too shabby, not too shabby. And we'll put you right there, perfect. No trouble standing up, which finally brings us to our final box. Now, this one obviously comes from Amazon. It actually got delivered while I was out of town at Joshua Tree, so it stayed outside my back door for the entire day while it was pouring. And yeah, when I got home, the box was just soaking wet. Now, I'm sure the figure that's inside is still in good shape, but the actual box that it comes in, I'm not so sure. Been waiting on this guy forever. Literally forever. Oh, it doesn't look bad at all. Here is Studio Series 109 Concept Art a Megatron. Man, the Bumblebee movie just keeps giving and giving, huh? I have been seeing folks post endless pictures of this guy online and on the Discord. I see you, Jasimus. So I've been really looking forward to getting this guy finally. Oh, he looks so good. Ooh, nice. Well, these are some fat instructions here. Rise, Lord Megatron. Oh, yes. Good Lord, that is a weapon. Holy shizzle. There seems to be quite a bit of articulation just on his fusion cannon alone. There's parts that twist, there's parts that just fold out. There's a lot going on here. Okay. Oh, he's a triple changer too, isn't he? Yes, a tank and some kind of a jet. Usually when we have triple changers, one mode definitely suffers over the others. However, because this is a Cybertronian version, I'm kind of wondering if they're both going to be equally as good or equally as bad. I'm curious to find out. But just looking at bot mode though, oh my God, this is good. Oh, this is so good. Oh my God. Woo! Baby, whew, damn. Okay, what? That's articulated too? What? Oh my God, index finger articulation, are you serious? First knuckle, second knuckle, and index. Okay, yeah, you better have wrist swivel. You better. Oh, okay. Right off the bat, this guy is almost kibble free. Yeah, it's a lot of Cybertronian bits and details here. There are some little things sticking out the back, super minor though, but this guy, out the wazoo, just filled with detailing. Take a look at that. Oh man, that is damn good. That is damn good. That head sculpt right there. Woof. I am just speechless. God damn. Okay, but of course the back equally as detailed. There seems to be a lot of similarities with the backs of the Cybertronian mode Transformers, and I know that's because the designers used the same template when they were designing them. So there's these circular sections on the back that we see on quite a few of them. On the back of Prime, I think on the back of Shockwave and Soundwave. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. There are these extra little bits hanging down the bottom here. They are nothing major, but it's just a little bit hanging out the bottom. That's all it is. But man, this guy is clean, like detailed and clean, all at the same time. The fusion cannon does look fantastic. I like the size of it. Minor gripe, this section that's a different gray plastic though. I would have loved for it to be a unified color. The color never really bothers me though, because of reasons, right? But still, coming out of the box, I would have loved to have seen it all the same color though. Or if it was gonna be different colors, just make it not as obvious that it's just like a different color plastic here. Just like we see different colored silvers and grays on Megatron, we could have replicated that here. Just this section in the middle though, looks a little bit off. Looks a little bit off. And I think the only small gripe that I have with the design, overall, these designs, they pay more of an homage to G1, right? But as far as the way the faces look, I think that's a last bit of Bayverse-ness that we have left over on these. And what I mean is that it's just a little bit overly complicated on the facial area. We can obviously see the eyes, but you can't really make out any other facial features. More importantly, the mouth. It kind of just disappears in the clutteriness of all those details though. If you see him in profile, you can make out that he has a nose, but all the other details are just a little bit too much. It's almost like he has bags under the eyes though. There are some sections that do protrude underneath the eyes. They kind of stick out from the rest, giving us the impression of like these bags, like, I don't know, he must be tired. Commanding the Decepticons would be a tiring job though, I totally get it. So if we could achieve some kind of a cleaner facial look, I think I'd be down with that. And as far as the only other minor gripe is the overall coloration of the figure. I think it's a little bit too much silver, a little bit too much overall gray. I would have loved for the legs to have been broken down with some more darker grays or even blacks, maybe even sprinkle in some red on the inside. Again, we're paying an homage to G1, right? But this guy is just so good to look at. Every little section you look at, there's just details upon details upon details. And yeah, I would love to give him a full repaint one day. This is the kind of figure that I wouldn't even care to keep the transformation. Thankfully, there's no kibble to get rid of though, but if it's something that's overly complicated, I don't know, I could do without it. But before I make that decision, let's take a look at those alternate modes here. Okay. Oh, okay. Come on, dude, come on. No. Here, a little bit forward, There we go, okay. Okay, this shouldn't be too... Oh my God! Okay, first things first, he does have a storage mode for that fusion cannon, so let's check that out. And this pegs onto the back. I mean, yeah, okay. I don't know if this is more for the alt modes. I don't even know why it does that in bot mode. Megatron would never do this. Megatron would never, ever do this. Why? Why? And you're not even really recreating the barrel of the gun in the back, though. That's not really... It's not really working, though. That's not really working. Okay. I think we're still good. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's really it for the tank mode. And pretty much what I thought, it's not really coherent as a tank mode. Again, it's a whole bunch of Cybertronian bits, kind of sort of vaguely forming the shape of a tank. I think what really helps is that it does have the tank treads that are exposed and pop out of the leg sections as well. So you have that visual cue, but this top section here is very clearly just the arms wrapping around the fusion cannon. I mean, I guess it gets the job done. It has that articulation. It's not really going to go up because of the way that it's connected back here. It's going to mess up the whole look of it. In fact, it's already kind of unpegging out of place. And you do have just the front chest section and the back of the head just sitting right in the front of the tank mode. But the fact that it's all just really Cybertronian mode, it kind of gets away with it. Obviously, if it was trying to be some kind of an Earth mode tank, it would have more trouble doing that. But at least the whole thing does feel solid, like everything does snap into place, and it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart in my hands, though. But honestly, this tank mode, though, I wouldn't really care to keep it, again, if I were to do an eventual repaint for this figure. It's decent enough. It's not too bad. Of course, visible head right on the bottom there. Will the jet mode convince me? Probably not, but let's take a look at it anyways. Okay, part 2. Good Lord. Okay, I don't think I'm really able to achieve this mode with much success. I think that's the overall gist of it. Definitely not as solid as the tank though, but that's as far as I'm getting because I'm just white. Some design aspects of this I do like. If anything, this looks like a super menacing bird of prey, just ready to attack on you. That's pretty vicious. I don't know why I'm getting some laser beak vibes out of this though. It could be the little bit of red that it has on the nose cone. It's a good design, I do like that. And there are some impressions of these exhausts that kind of fold out from where the treads were. That's a nice little touch, but I wish they had a little bit of color to them though. They're kind of hidden in there. The cannon just kind of sitting in the bottom though. I mean, what else could you have done with it though, right? That's kind of it. Still, very clearly the arms that are holding it, but they're underneath, so it's not terrible. What I do like though are these pointy bits sticking out on the front. Those popped out of the upper legs, and that's partly what gives it this really menacing look to it. Overall, I like the look, but again, as with most other complicated Transformers, I think I need a little bit of practice with it. Even if it snapped all snugly in place though, it's still just a whole lot of Cybertronian bits to kind of give us the shape of a jet. It's not bad, but when it's all painted and detailed and weathered, I don't know if I want to do that transformation. It's cool to see it in person though, it's not bad. And of course, not surprisingly, getting him back into bot mode wasn't that hard of a pain once you know how everything moves around. This is an absolutely monstrous achievement of engineering. I am overall very impressed with what we got here. I honestly can't wait to give this guy a proper paint job and seeing what we can achieve with him. I already have some ideas. I really do. You are gonna go right here, sir. All right, that's going to do it for today's edition of Outside the Box. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. You can catch me on all the social medias. Links are down below. Catch me live on Fridays and weekends on Twitch. And I upload the VODs to my second YouTube channel, Hobbies with Jose Gaming. You can support the channel by heading over to the merch store, or support for free by hitting the like and subscribing, or really support by heading over to the Patreon, or leaving a nice comment. I do love those. But as always, I will catch you all next time. Oh, man. I know, I keep teasing this, but next time, for sure, bet on it.